Hello, this is a mini guide video on S.P.A.R.K, which stands for Standard Python Adventure RPG Kit, which is a lightweight 2D Ascii RPG Python game engine. The purpose of the engine is educational. You won't be using it to write the next indie hit, and if anything, it's an extension of my 15 mini Python games tutorial series. It acts like a playground where you can apply what you've learnt into your own mini adventures. It's built on the standard library, hence no extension is needed, and provides an alternative to Pygame, providing you the ability to communicate your RPG or adventure ideas without first learning an external library. Just a disclaimer, I don't write perfect code, but I do believe the code has enough clarity where it matters to be useful as a game engine. You also will need to know Python. But before we look at the code, I'm just going to do a little demonstration of the engine itself, which provides more or less all the bare bone features. So we start off with the title screen, the Spoon quest. Prepare to enter the Dungeon of Doom. Press enter to continue. Next we have a loading screen with an animation, not actually needed, but it provides a retro vibe in my humble opinion. And then next we have the map, the player, movement WASD, and the infantry, which is the bag, but before that we get ambushed by a bug imp, the inconvenience. Okay. I'm just going to show you what we've got in our bag at the moment, and we've got a bone flute. There's a G in the corner. Let's just see what that G stands for. It stands for Goblin. And the Goblin says, have you seen my spoon? So what we need to do is find his spoon. His or her, we don't know. Nothing on this level. I do see an S in the corner. Could that be our spoon? Or maybe a sassy dragon? Who knows? Let's find out. That's a bit strange. It wasn't there before. A bit annoying, but what can you do? Let's go around. Or get attacked by another bug imp. And another bug imp. Okay, it seems like we've gained a level, so we can either increase our power or health. I'm going to increase health because I do want to get a bit tanked up. Okay, you find the spoon on the floor, do you pick it up? I'll put no. I'm just going to have a little scout around, make sure no traps are near me. And there's a hobgoblin, just take him out. Okay, no traps, so let's just pick it up. And as you can see, it's now in our bag. Okay, let's move on. Let's go back upstairs. I do feel there is a secret wall around here, and there's one. Oh, just before we go through the secret wall, we get attacked again. Okay, as you can see, secret wall. Let's have a little word with the goblin. You have found my spoon, thank you. For your troubles, here is a sword and a leather tunic. Let's look at our bag, and I can see the spoon is missing, and we do have a leather tunic and a sword, so let's upgrade our equipment. So if you look at our bag now, we should have a dagger and some rags, which is what we were wearing before. Okay, what else is around here? Are we missing anything? Get attacked by another rattling. This time let's try and escape. Turn pacifist. Oh no. Oh, we managed to escape. Let's move on. Let's have another word with the goblin. Spoon, spoon, I love my spoon. La 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 la. Are you still here? You've beaten the game. Go home and be a family person. Here is a little victory dance to send you off. And here's my little victory dance. You win, game over. And that's basically it for the demo. Let's press enter to exit. And let's look at the code. So how this game works is when you move the player X and Y coordinates, you actually move it in two maps. You're moving in the data map, which is I could call the back end, and the visual map, which I call the front end. In the visual map, it's what you actually see when you're playing the game. The data contains the logic. So, for example, on the third floor, there were some secret walls. In the visual map, you see a hash, which represents wall, but in the data map is a dot which represents a free space, hence why you were able to go through the wall. Normally with walls, both the visual map and data map both have hash, so it not only does it look like a wall, it acts like a wall. Next thing I would like to do is go through the main function, because that's the core of the game. Very first thing it will do, it will trigger and create a player object. So, create all the stats, the levels, the experience, health, power, and so forth. And then it will trigger the game loop, and then the music, and the title screen, which also contain the animation, the loading animation. And next, a variable called position, which is quite important because it clears the screen, prints the map, initializes backend and front end, and return tile under player. Next, when we initiate the game loop, the very first method it calls is recall under step. This captures the previous X and Y for solid interactions. So when you hit a wall or NPC, when you interact with one, you don't want to go through them. So what this will do, it will capture the previous X and Y, and this method, solid underscore interaction, will then bounce you back to your previous X and Y coordinates. Next is flush. This will remove previous @ sign so the player doesn't leave a trail. If you remove this method, what will happen is every time you move, there'll be a trail of @ signs behind you. The next is commands. At the moment, we only have movement and infantry commands, but you can add others like spellbook or maybe use items. Next, we have that position again, and this position this method will return something into position, and depending what it returns, a different thing will happen. For example, if position equals dot, events dot random underscore event will happen. So if you go to events, you go to random underscore event, and if you look through the actual code, what will happen is, for most of the time, nothing will happen. Then there's a very small chance it'll trigger a random battle, and also a very small chance that the hero will find some loot on the floor. Okay, and then we go back to the game loop. Next one is a hash, so that's a wall. So what will happen there? It'll trigger maps.solid underscore interaction, and that will bounce you back to your previous X and Y coordinates, and then it'll print you hit a wall. What I'm going to do next is just go through an example how you would add an event to the game. Because at the end of the day, for you to make this game your own, to create your own NPCs, to create your own quests, side quests, your own stories, you have to add events. So let's just say you want to add a dwarf into the game. The very first thing you will do is go to map, and you'll add maybe a D to represent the dwarf in both the data and the visual map at the same coordinate. Next, you will then go to the game loop, and you'll type something like if position equal D, something happens. Whatever that something is, you then go to events to code up what that thing. So it really depends on if it's going to be a evil dwarf, an enemy dwarf, or a good dwarf who'll give you items. For example, if it's a bad guy, you maybe need to add the dwarf into the enemy class. But if it's a good guy giving you like weapons or armor or anything like that, if it's not already in the weapon or armor class, you'll need to add the weapon or armor in their class. So I do feel it's quite important to understand some of these methods, especially the fetch quest that I've hard coded in, the goblin underscore spoon underscore quests, and understand how they work. Because if you understand them, then you can not only are able to write your own methods, write your own interactions, or even change my one to do what you want. So just to add your own flavor, and at that point, the world is your oyster. You could do what you want, make it as complicated as you like, and so forth. So in conclusion, I do feel that even though this is not a perfect engine, I do encourage others to tinker with it, to change things, to experiment. I do feel it does provide a simple template to create your own RPG and adventure games. And that's more or less about it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Bye for now.